Hey y'all, welcome back to Crafty Mama. We are doing the veggie garden walkthrough, starting on the same side as we always do. It is a scorcher. It's like 6 o'clock and it's still high 80s, which is a scorcher for us this year. This year's been kind of weird though. Alright, so plant-wise, this bucket we need to get harvested probably this week. There are a few new shoots there, but for the most part they've all died back. It's time to harvest, and then we can get the potatoes in the basement planted. I have 4 buckets that don't have russet potatoes in them. They have a lot of chickweed in them. And what is that other one? I can't think of it now. Anyway, this one does have a little bit of a sweet potato vine there. We've got to get those weeded. It is at least somewhat shaded over here, so maybe I can sit on the garden seat and get those done. This is supposed to have beans coming up, but I need to get the weeds pulled out of it, because I want the beans to trellis over this one. This one also has beans, but right now it just has a lot of weeds. This one is looking fantastic. I'm not going to mess with that one or with this one. This one's not as happy, but I'm still not going to mess with it. And then this one has a sweet potato vine, and that one hates us. Zinnias are looking good. Gladiolus. Once again, I have some weeds. I have a tree I need to pull out of my peonies, apparently. So while I'm standing here, sorry, I had to flip you around so you could actually see me. So I'm standing on the south side of our garden, on the outside of it. And if my cottage gardening video comes out first, you'll know what I'm going to say. If this one comes out first, though, we had a visitor from our city today, like a city official, come out. He's the like the home inspector, house, lawn. I don't know. He drives around, looks at yards. He was like, I'm really impressed with your garden, just how much, how pretty it is, and the mammoth sunflowers, and it's absolutely gorgeous. But the pallet fence. Yes. Well, apparently, according to city guidelines, you can't use pallets for fencing. It has to be made of building material, like fencing material, so like actual fence boards or chain link or something like that. Well, the price of wood has gone astronomically high because of COVID. So I will not be buying wood anytime soon, unless I plan on like giving up my kidney or something, and then I'll probably only get like 2 boards. So he did say that if we take the pallets apart and we pick at the top, like only cut off like the corners, or whatever, and then paint it, nobody's gonna know. Well, it was more I say he did it. I offered that as a solution. He was like, okay. So that's what we're going to do. The other issue we have is that apparently our fence is too close to the street. Now, we looked up the city guidelines, Chris and I did, after he got home today. There's nothing in the guidelines that says, hey, you have to be within like 25 feet away from the center of the road or whatever. Because what this guy is saying, I'm not saying he doesn't know his stuff, but he's saying we have to come all the way out to the center of the road, measure back in however many feet, and then that's where we can put our fence. And because of where it's at, you can only put a 4-foot fence. Well, our fence isn't even 4 foot, so that's not that big of a deal. However, where the greenhouse is not far enough in. So we're going to have to move our greenhouse. I have all my blueberries and my elderberry If you hear Chris yelling, he's bringing the chicks out for the night for some sun time. I have, like the 4 big wooden beds. I have my trellis. All of that's going to have to get moved. He did say not to stress about it right now and to do it in the fall when everything's died back, because me having a pallet fence isn't necessarily high on his totem pole of worries right now. But it's definitely something to start thinking about and prepping for and whatnot. We have at least the wood. Like I said, we'll have to pick at the top and paint it. And I told him, just tell me where I need to, how far back I need to put it so I know what I need to move. And what most likely is going to happen is we'll move everything we can back, and I have a feeling we're going to have 2 beds that we can't fit anymore. We could take up the sunflower bed or the sunflower area. Here, I'll show you what I'm talking about. This is the area of the garden that he's talking about, and that's the fence. And he's saying that it's too close to the street. So we have those blue buckets, not that difficult. We have those 2 garden beds. We have that trellis. We have the greenhouse. These 2 beds should be fine. The fence might come right up to it, depending on how far back we need to go. So what I'm thinking is we'll move the trellis back here. Last year we had like a bean teepee thing or a cucamelon teepee thing. Nothing's there right now, so we can move the trellis back. We will probably dig up our blueberries and plant them over in the cottage garden with the rest of the blueberries. Elderberry I'm keeping where it is, and it'll just be on the outside of the fence because it has settled in really well and I don't really want to mess with it. The blue buckets I'm not too worried about. We'll just put those wherever we need to. But these 2 beds, this one could go over there. And we might have enough room once the rocker is gone to put another one on this side. Or once this is gone, we could put it there. If we decide not to do that, however, we'll just put it over in the cottage garden. And it'll be fine. It'll just be a lot of digging. So let's get started on the actual walkthrough now that I've had fun with that. Alright, so these are the different mints. There's some basil, a bit of feverfew, bee balm. These were just like the little leftovers from, the greenhouse when we emptied it all out. This is one of the greens beds. This is all butter lettuce. This is a cauliflower, which so far is doing okay. I'm not seeing actual cauliflower, but it's been pretty hot, so I'm not too worried about that. Swiss chard is looking good. I have a really big weed that I need to get pulled there. So far everything's looking happy in here. We're going to have a King Ranch casserole tonight as leftovers, which is like a chicken casserole or chicken enchilada casserole thing. And I think I might come out and make like a big bowl of salad to go with it. Sweet potato vine down there is looking good. It's apparently enjoying the shade. We have tomato of some sort. I don't remember which one it is. I think this one's bee balm. My tomatoes, the leaves are curling because even though we're getting into the 90s, right now it's 94 or something like that. Even though we're getting into the 90s during the day, it's getting down to 60 at night, and the tomatoes are going, I don't know what to do. So I don't know. I might not get any tomatoes this year. I have no idea. My eggplant's looking good. Once again, the tomatoes are curling. That's one of the reasons why the pepper plants, it's super hot, so then they wilt, and then it gets colder than they like, and so looks like I need to trim some more of the bottom leaves off. They do have like the start of little flowers, and I have a couple of peppers on my pepper plant over by the greenhouse, but it's just not as abundant as it was last year. This one, like I said, once again, leaves are curling, and it has nothing to do with water because it gets the same amount of water. But we have some purple basil down there. Another bell pepper plant. Elderberry's looking great. It's starting to produce the little actual elderberries. It's absolutely just covered in them, and there's more flowers coming on. So we might actually get a decent harvest of at least elderberries. We'll just survive on elderberries this year. It'll be fine. That's doable, right? Here's some bee balm. Back in here, a few little herbs and things that I've found and just put in there. This blueberry is nice and happy. It's not flowering, but I don't expect it to. Morning glories are going absolutely crazy all over the place. Still have yet to actually make a flower, but that's okay. This bed is very happy, and I'm wondering if I can go ahead and take this off. I'm not going to, because I feel like after this long, I don't want to mess it up. But I have like 3 or 4 cabbages. You can see down there. You can actually see a little baby cabbage. So I can get it to... You see the baby cabbage right in there. So that's exciting. At least I had one bed that didn't try to die on me or was eaten alive. We had a volunteer tomatillo plant that I put in here. We have some volunteer zinnias, more zinnias, sunflower, forget-me-nots. And then I put cilantro and dill in here. So far nothing's come up yet. I'm telling myself that it will. And then back there, I have some okra. I'm not sure why I thought I needed to plant 3 okra that close, but I did. I could have sworn I planted some over here too, and they didn't come up, so I don't know. Morning glories are just kind of taking over as they do, all up the trellis. We did plant more peas in here, and you can kind of see, yeah, a few little peas starting to come up a little bit, but for the most part, it's all morning glories and loofahs. And just like over in the cottage garden, I am not seeing any baby loofahs yet. But it's growing alright, so that's okay. Another blueberries that I treated with the fungicide for the rust leaves. I think they're done producing anyway, so hopefully that takes care of it. Massive sunflower that is about to grow through our archway. And then this side has, you can see some peas coming up finally on this side, which is exciting. And then some more gladiolus. Bo and I came out and got, this entire area was just covered in weeds, like in the beds, around the beds. We still have all of that. We need to get more mulch. But I kind of feel like I don't want to do anything until we figure out where we need to move this back. Maybe I'm wrong in that. I don't know. Marshmallow is blooming. So pretty. I love the feel of these. Let's see, I do have a couple of peppers on this one. This is the one that I saved from last year and kept in my basement. And then my glads are all budding, but they haven't bloomed yet. My cat grasses are whatever they're supposed to be doing. I don't even know the point of cat grass. It just looked like a fun thing. I probably will have cat grass for the rest of my life in that one area now. I got a zucchini. And then Lone Point. Lone Point, I have more than just one in this one. I have no idea. I have a whole bunch of sunflower seeds right there. More cat grass. This one has a Quite a few starting. And then some bee balms and some gazanias, and this one that haven't started budding yet. This sunflower is taller than I am. It's just absolutely huge. This one, the leaves, the flowers have already fallen off of this one, and so I can rub the pollen bits off of it. If I wanted to, I could take this one in, dry it, and make sunflower seeds, like salted sunflower seeds out of these, and we might do that just so that we can start. I don't feel like I've prepped any food this year yet because everything's just taking forever. But I have at least 2 heads on that one. This one over here is getting ready to be done. And then I have, I don't even know how many more heads opening on just that one plant. This one, same thing. I've had a fly try to go into my nose. We had a couple of volunteer tomatillo plants, so I left them. Maybe that's the only thing we're going to have is tomatillos. I don't know. Our sunflower garden over here. This is where I was saying we might have to put one of the plants. I don't know. Or one of the planters. But we have a couple of heads here that we can take off and brine. This tomatillo plant is absolutely massive. Like, massive. We had to put a stake in. It has like one of the cages. It looks like this big ass bush. Oh, we have some strawberries. I can see some red in the strawberry beds. So we have some strawberries we need to get picked. We did get all of this weeded. I did this Saturday, and I got this entire side of the garden weeded, all the beds and everything. That we'll go over there, but that one looks a little bare. So yeah, we have the strawberries. The asparagus is looking good. I got the weeds pulled out of those. They're nice and tall. We started getting cucumbers. This one plant has, I don't even know how many. It is just absolutely overrun. I'd like to get them to be a little bit bigger to make like bigger pickles, because I've been doing like cowboy sushi with them, with like the big pickles that you can buy at the store, and that's what I'd like to have for here at the house, if I can keep my kids from them. But yeah, these vines are just absolutely covered in flowers and in cucumbers. Probably could go ahead and pick some of these. They're decent enough sized. But you can see, especially if I back up, you can see there's not very many leaves. You can see a whole bunch of yellow flowers, but there's just not that very many leaves, because vines do not need as many leaves as it puts on. It's like a survival thing. I'm going to put on as many as I can, just on the case that one of them is bad. I cut all of those off because they just don't need it. So that head is one of the first ones, and the petals are almost gone completely. Once the petals have all fallen off, we're going to take that one down, and I'm excited to see how many seeds we can get out of that one. Some of them we'll save, some of them we'll brine. Back to this bed. I actually need to come out and do more cutting back on the leaves of this board. I just haven't. This tomatillo almost takes up this entire bed. I'm not kidding. It's just absolutely huge. And that's why we have this this trellis up here for the gourd plant, if it actually makes babies. So far, nothing. We do have onions in there, though. We have onions in there. We have onions in here. This is phlox, so I left that. I thought it'd be really pretty. It should be pink when it actually blooms. These leaves do not look the prettiest, but that's okay. I'm interested to see, though, if this sunflower makes more than one head, because the rest of them have like multiple heads, and this one only has one. So that's interesting. I do keep pulling the dirty looking leaves or whatever off, just because it doesn't need it. And then this bed, it's completely different because we had carrots here, we had carrots here, we had carrots there, potatoes, carrots, and I harvested all of that. Then we dug it down and we put a support in because it's starting to bow out a little bit. And I haven't planted anything in it yet. I did uncover a couple of my peppers, so I have a pepper there now, and I have a pepper there, and I have a pepper there. The potatoes were shadowing them out quite a bit. But now I have this entire bed. And we really enjoyed the carrots that I pulled up. Like, they're almost already gone. And there was a lot of them. So I'm thinking I'm going to plant like half a bed, this entire thing of carrots, and I'll do rows and try to get as many as I can. And then I don't know. I don't know. I got to figure this out. But I definitely want to do more carrots. We're going to have a second batch of potatoes. You can just see, look at all those flowers. It surprises me every time I come out here. It's just baffling. So we have another gourd plant that's not, it's not producing anything besides leaves right now. This tomato plant, I think because it gets the evening sun, it's staying uncurled and it's not as big. I don't know, those other tomato plants are just being finicky, I think. And then if we go out this archway, we have a volunteer pumpkin of some sort that's absolutely huge. We had a pea plant at some point. I don't see it in here, but all I see is mostly weeds. And then I get out here and weed all of these because I'd like to get like some cabbage and cauliflower planted over here, and then I can put the tool over that as well. And then this is the little cage for the chickaroos, who are nice and happy in there. We just pulled them out, like I said. They've gotten huge, it seems like. Guys, what's going on? So no, it'll be interesting to see here in a couple of weeks if we have all pullets or if we have all roos or what we have. The kids have been enjoying playing with them, and here in probably a week or so they're all going to be feathered out and they can just stay out here. We won't have to bring them back and forth, which will be exciting. And then all of this will be the chicken run eventually. Unless somehow we've messed up the guidelines on that as well. Although I asked the guy and he said, no, that's fine. But that's the grass we're using to mulch, like where the new corn is. That one's actually going to come out tonight and hopefully finish mulching that. This is like veggie mulch. And I feel like I just need to get like a, I don't know, something to break it apart or break it down more, because it's not breaking down very quickly. And then that's this year's grass and yard waste and stuff. So I'd like to leave this for next year to be able to use, and then put this down. We might use those and this to finish up the mulching. I don't know. We'll see what needs done. And see, this one has multiple heads too. That one that's absolutely huge only has one, so I don't know what's going on. And then the last thing is our grape, which is very happy and just climbing up.